Alright, there's the S meter, S9. We got minus 67. I got a BNC attenuator here that's 20 dB, so I don't really need it, but I just leave it on there because I hate to have to unhook everything. Obviously, I can go down to minus 67 with this generator, no problem, without the attenuator. So let's go to sideband. We'll check that. We'll just do upper since that's the first one. Kill that. Here's upper side right here. So that's all good. Alright, let me grab my sine adder and I'll hook that up and we'll just check the sensitivity. I have no doubt that it's good, they always are, but just check it. Let me kill that. So we're going to use the sine analyzer today instead of the sine adder. I did calibrate this. It was just a little out of calibration when I got it, so if you have one of these, I did notice that I had to calibrate it some, but it wasn't a ton or anything, but now it works perfect. So I calibrated it against my sine adder 3, which matches up well with everything. So this one is calibrated basically right to that, and everything worked out really good. So just a little off, and nothing. I'm not complaining or anything. You know, it does give you the info on how to do it and everything. So it's definitely, if you know what you're doing, it's recommended that you do it. And I didn't even contact the seller or anything like that. It wasn't a big deal. So it's actually kind of fun doing it. So you know, sometimes we do stuff like that just because it's fun and checking stuff and all that. So, but it's a cool little sine adder. You don't see this type of stuff too much, so I'm just gonna power this off my Rigel supply here. Obviously this doesn't take much current, so 13.8's perfect for that. Okay, turn the power on. There we go. So, alright, so we should be ready to go with the sensitivity test now. So here's the sine analyzer right there. Now we won't hear the tone because this doesn't have a speaker out on it, so that's the only difference. So whoops, we'll just see the meter start to, well, maybe I don't have a right external speaker, maybe. Let me see here. I apologize, I haven't used it in a little while. It is on there, so. Oh, volume's not up. Jeez. I shut it off because we didn't want to hear the tone, so the volume wasn't up on the radio. That's all that was. So, alright. Okay, there's about 12. It's actually just a little shy of 12. There's about 127 right there, so it's going to bounce around a little bit, but it's all good. So we can listen to that. Let's see, I unhook the meter there, so there it is. Oh, my BNC was coming loose, that's why it sounded like that, so it probably will actually be a little bit better now. BNC on this RG400 came off the adapter, so let's see here. It's about the same, so. It just keeps coming loose. back there. Kind of annoying hearing that static. Alright, we got that squared away. We've got good sensitivity on sideband. Let's go to AM. And we'll set this back up again. So the cable's kind of too long and it's kind of pressing up against the frequency counter here, and it's causing it to come loose at that BNC to SO239, so it's kind of annoying getting cramped for space here, especially when I'm filming, because I have to have this camera mount in the way and stuff, so it kind of takes room away from me. Alright, so let's turn the mod back on, and down here, set this up for 9. Alright, and AM mode. So what we got going on here? Something is just... Do I have FM on too? I think so. Yeah, that's not good. We don't want FM on. That's better. Is it still on? Nope, it's off. Why is it saying it's on? Alright, now it's off. You don't want an FM tone going in there. That messes everything up. The whole test would be wrong. So... a hard time over here. Let me get this thing back situated and I'll be back. Sorry about that. Okay, George in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Got your Capo here, DX5000 Plus. This is one of the original models when they first sold them that I sold to George, and we're just gonna align it because back then I didn't frankly know how, so I was just selling them how they were, but they were so good. I mean, you know, being on frequency and everything, it was just revolutionary for 10-meter radios when these first came out. So the first thing I noticed, George, was your mic jack was really loose. It was like I could basically, it would wiggle. So there's this little washer in here. So I have this tool here. I bought this on eBay some time ago, but it goes right in there. It says little teeth. It grabs those little teeth and you can tighten that right down so it's nice and tight for you like it was when it was new. So I'm not sure how that happened. I think what happens is over the time when you're putting microphones on and when you're screwing this part on, sometimes it may catch, and as you take the mic off it could actually spin with it. So I don't know if they still sell these on eBay or not, but it's really useful for mobile radios, base radios too, you can use it for. So it just tightens the mic jack. That way, you know, it's not loose and flopping around and stuff. So the radio's working fine. I'm going to align it for you this time, get a little bit better performance out of it. And I did put the program software in that your second one that you got from me has, so this one should match up the same. So you have that Roger beep that I put in. I noticed that your mic gain was on 1 when I first turned it on. It was like here. So when I set these up, you can run it at 63. That's all the way up. Mic type stays there. Pretty much everything's the same here. Let me go back to that. I'm going to shut that timeout timer off, I think. So when I'm working with the radio here, that doesn't go off on me. Well, actually, I just turn it up to like 6 minutes. That way. Here's your Roger beat frequency, 2510, 100 milliseconds. Megaseconds, jeez. I was thinking about Megatron from Transformers. We talk a lot about that with the boy. He likes Transformers. I still like him from when I was a kid. It's kind of cool. Alright, let's get started on it and get it all squared away for you. So it's pretty much already on frequency, but we're going to check that again. Oops. These were always really good for that. There we go. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much spot on frequency there, so we're good. First time I got these, I was shocked, literally shocked when I got these, when I started dealing with KPO out of the Netherlands, and I said, hey, I saw you guys have a radio, can I try one? They said, sure, and they sent me the first one. I was just blown away by these. Never seen a 10-meter radio before that was ever like perfectly on frequency. It's still to this day, it just blows my mind. I know now it's kind of to be expected because there's so many other makes and models, but this was the first one that I'm aware of, so they were first ones to have it. And this was the first generation. I mean, they had DX5000 Plus before, but it had the older Quad 5 board, like the one that you can do the adjustments and all that. So I never had one of those. I'm sure it was a fine radio. There's FM powers right where it should be, so that's good. Low power I'm going to put to 1 for you. I never had an original Quad 5 either. I had a Quad 5N, never the original Quad 5. FM mod, I'm going to bump that up some. You just basically on these go to the max setting, which is 280. That'll give you a little bit more FM mod. AM power high, we're going to set this down to 8. AM power low, we're going to put it to 1. Alright. Okay, now we'll move down to the oscilloscope. You can all see that pretty good. So this is AM mod low. So I'm assuming it's going to be really low now. They always were. And these always had really good audio, so I expect nothing less out of this one. Alright, let's see what we come up with first. Yeah, so it's pretty low. Magically we can just bring it up. You can actually put it into like horrible, but you don't want that. You want about like that, I think. Oops, we're getting a little too carried away here. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. Maybe just a touch too much. That's better. Alright, so that's our low power now. So what are we? 1 watt swinging to about 4.64. So that's perfect. We're all agreeing that that looks good. Alright. We'll do the high power next. So with high power, we need to adjust this down. These are probably my all-time favorite. Just love the black color. I think it's a cool looking radio, the black knobs. I love the 6900V a lot too. I love this chassis of radio. I think it's, for me, it's something that reminds me of the old style radio, but yeah, I love the black look of these radios. And I love this one and also the 6900V, which they're ideally the same, just the only difference is the display color is different as far as I know. So there's high power. So we're pretty well off there already. Squeeze a little bit more out of it though, about like that. I'm hoping to get some more of these later. They told me that right now their focus is more on Yaesu because they have Yaesu distribution rights now in Europe, which is exciting. If I had distribution rights for Yaesu, I'd be very excited too. So I think that that's a very good thing that they have. But hopefully they won't forget about the 10-meter radios, and this one is their own, so hopefully I think there's still a good market throughout the world for it. People really like these. So there's your AM high, that looks really good. Go to sideband here. So I think George's friend Tim, that I did a Lincoln 2 Plus for, he wants a 6900V. So I'm going to set one of those up for Tim. Talked to Tim on the phone, really nice guy. Knows a lot about radio. So I know a lot of you guys do. So we can talk about a lot of radio stuff. So what's going on here? This is the low power, okay. That's why I'm like, yeah, there's not giving me much room for improvement here. See what happens when you go too much? It goes into distortion, looks horrible. A la Ranger. That's how they usually look. You go in there and turn your ALC and SSB limits up. That's what you get. It's not good. Alright, that's good there. Let's go to the high. That's what I was looking for. Alright, so this one isn't too bad. If you crank it up too much, that's what happens there too. It gets downright disgusting. So this one's pretty good. They did a pretty good job with these too, so they always come out really nice. Yep, that looks good. Alright. So now I'm just going to check the signal meter, see how that's looking. and then I'll come back and show the final output, so I'll be back. Alright, so here's the Sine Adder 3. This is 12 dB SYNAD. That was 10 minutes of my life I'll never get back. 10 kilohertz test tones don't work, so make sure when you're doing receiver tests you have the right tone selected. I'm sitting here thinking, what the heck is going on? Yeah, 10 kilohertz doesn't work. So let's put the Sine Adder Sine Analyzer back on now, and take a quick listen to that. Or we won't listen to it, but we'll look at the meter. I just want to make sure that everything was working the way it should, and it was. Your antenna jack was loose on the back too, George. I'm not sure why that is, but I'll kind of tighten that up for you a little bit. I noticed that it was the washer on the outside was super loose, so not sure why that was, but there's the Sine Analyzer right there, right about 12. So they're both reading the same. There's 111. So those are mod 30%, 1 kilohertz minus 111. Alright, so it's got good receive. I knew it would. It's just a matter of setting the equipment up the right way to show it was the issue. It did work again today, so yeah, sometimes, you know, things get a little tired, I guess, you know. You do this stuff enough, you think it should just come natural, but sometimes you gotta double check things before you having a problem or something. You need to take a step back for a minute and look at things, and sure enough it was the wrong setting, so it can happen to anybody, I guess. Alright, so now a microphone on this and give her a go and see how she works. So I'm going to use my static. This is an 878 Delta mic. Right there, it's just because it's handy. So plug that in. And see if she's talking. Yep, she's talking. 1 2 1 2. Check check. 1 2 1 2. Hello 1 2. All right. Let's turn some talk back on. One two, 1 2, check check. 1 2 1 2, check check check. 1 2 3 4, 1 2. I gotta turn that beep on too. Alright. There's a little beep I gave you. 1 2 1 2, check check. 1 2 1 2, hello. Alright. Actually, if you don't like that showing SWR, you can always switch that. To transmit frequency. Now it'll show transmit frequency. You can still monitor SWR by going here, and then this becomes your SWR, and 1 bar is good. And if it's going up a ways, then that's bad. I set the threshold to 3.0. 1 2 1 2. Alright, this radio has echo, so we'll turn that on really quick. 1 2 3. Check check. 1 2 1 2 3. Check check check. Hello 1 2. Alright. All that stuff works fine, so shut our echo off, and Roger beeps, and this beep off, all that stuff's off. Alright. Let's come up here to the meter, take a quick look. What we end up with here, that's probably good there. Yeah, we got about an 8-watt carrier on this radio, and then we're swinging up somewhere around 50 something. I think my mic might be turned up just a little too much. Maybe not. There's about our 8-watt carrier. There's our average, so it's got a pretty good average power to it. It fluctuates quite a bit, but you know, it's got a good average. Then our peak power here is about 55. That's AM, and that's with the RF power all the way up. We turn it all the way down. There's our 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. 1, 2. I really like these these desk mics. I think they work pretty darn good. Not everybody's a fan of them. I don't know why. I mean, I think they have a good sound. I kind of like the Zetagi a little bit better, the MB+5, only because it's a little more heavy and stuff like that. This is kind of plasticky feeling, so maybe you could say it's a little cheaper feeling. But it does have a good sound. It's more of a crystal element. So it's very high emphasis on audio, a little more high frequency. The electric condenser is also kind of like that, but it's a little less aggressive, if that makes sense. This is swinging a lot from a low dead key because of all the modulation, so it's not very consistent though. So you know, at times it is really banging up there, but it will drive an amplifier really good. That's generally what people want to do with the low dead key. So sideband on low power, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, check, check, pretty low. And then if we turn it all the way up, 1, 2, 1, 2, check, 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 1, 2, 1, 2, about 50 as well. So these radios are not a slouch. I mean, they have one less MOSFET final than like the CRT 7900 or the 555N2 or the 955V2, stuff like that. So it's one less output final. That's why you see a little bit less power. But this is perfect. You know, it's fine. There's no difference in noticeable gain going from 50 something to 70 whatever. So you know, these are usually less money. It's a more affordable radio, and in some cases they're a lot easier to use. It's more has that traditional look to it. So I like these a lot. Not everybody really likes them, and you know, everybody likes what they like, but I'm a big fan of this chassis. I really like it. Every time I say I'm going to keep one, I end up selling it. Fortunately, I got some more CRT 6900Vs in, so I am keeping one this time for that one. It will go in the storage, and that's it. I won't be selling it, so because I don't know how much longer I'll be able to get any of these. I mean, they could quit making them any time, so it kind of is what it is. But we can see here, I just keep talking, and this thing just keeps putting out power, so it's real consistent on output power, and that's pretty much it. So see, I'm going to pop the lid on the bottom of your radio, George, and check that antenna jack, because I still think there's, I don't know, I don't want to say there's a short in there, but something is just, unless it's just my jumper here, it could just be that, but something is just intermittent here. I noticed that cable was, or that lock washer, or whatever you want to call it, on the back was loose. Could just be this cable. I think it may be just my cable. So we'll try a different cable here and just see what happens. Something with this, we'll switch ends. Put this on this end. This one usually goes to the test equipment. We'll swap it. Just see what happens. I think it might be this adapter. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I have more of these, but this is BNC, and then this is the, so it connects. So I'm going to grab a different one. This one might have to go in the trash. Let me see. end connectors. Here's one. Here's a new one. I keep an assortment of these. You never know. Let's see what happens with this one. Doubtful that it's the coax cable itself. Alright, 1 2 1 2. Oh, guess it would help if I hook the mic back up. One two one two, check check. 1 2 1 2. Yeah, she's definitely rocking and rolling still, so everything's good. She's probably had a bad. I don't know how it could go bad, but anything's possible. Probably cheaply made. So. Oops, there's FM. Pretty close to 40 there. It'll probably go back up when the radio cools off a little bit. Main thing to keep in mind with these radios is how clean they are too on the spectrum. So let me get this down here. I'm about ready to lose my battery on my camera. So this is span out to 100. Well, it's really clean. So you know, it's made a really good radio here. Span into 30 megahertz. So we need to adjust this out to the frequency I'm on. 30 megahertz span, so this is 42, that's 12, so yeah, it's spectacular. So modulate, oh, this is FM, so here's AM 1 2 1 2 1 2, check check check, 1 2 1 2 1 2, hello hello 1 2 1 2. So there's AM. Here's sideband 1 2 1 2, check check check, 1 2 1 2, hello radio, check check. So nice and clean. All right, George. Appreciate you sending what you sent with it. That makes it so much easier. I'll get started on Tim's, and I'll make Tim a video too. So thanks a lot, George. I'm going to charge the camera now. 7-3, everybody. Alright, George, so I fixed your mic, or your antenna plug on the back. It was super loose, and I don't know why, but now we got coax cable with PL259s on instead of the BNC that I was using. I haven't had any problems with those, and with the coax cable on here, you know, RG8X here, I got no problems at all, no loose, it's not intermittent or anything, so I had to use an adapter over here, SMA to SO239 with my BNC there, but it worked out well, so obviously everything is